What's up, AP Comp Gov? It's Mr. Smith, and today we're here to talk about the argumentative essay, the last of the 4 essays on the exam. Keep in mind that the essays are worth 50% of your exam, and so each essay has a different weight, but cumulatively, the essays are worth 50% of your exam along with the multiple choice. Let's get down to business here. The argumentative essay is structured into 4 quadrants. The first quadrant of the argumentative essay is to have a thesis. The thesis is a good old-fashioned claim or argument that responds directly to the question. As the rubric from the College Board flashes up here on screen, notice you will not earn the point for simply restating the question. You must have an original thought, and you must have a unique argument that directly answers the question. What the graders are most looking for is your ability to take the question and choose a position. You must take a stance on whatever the topic may be. No fence sitting, no straddling the question, and no generic statements. Be direct and be argumentative. You can simply start the essay with your argument. You are not graded for contextualization. My suggestion, come out with a bang. Make sure that you make a strong claim or a strong argument, and the rest of the essay becomes about setting up that argument. Quadrant 2 on the essay is your evidence, and here you earn 2 potential points. The requirement is that you must provide 2 specific and relevant pieces of example to go along with your argument. That's the minimum to earn the 2 points. If you only provide 1 example of evidence, then you only earn 1 point. So my suggestion would be to strive for at least 2 pieces of evidence. And it's always a smart idea to provide your evidence in a broad statement that goes within your thesis or claim, right in the intro paragraph. Think about that in terms of layering and structuring your essay. And then, importantly, whatever points of emphasis that you're going to choose for your evidence, it's critical that you do more than just state the evidence. You can't simply regurgitate a fact. You must explain how or why that evidence supports your claim. The 2 key questions when you're doing your evidence paragraphs is to address how and why. The third quadrant of the AP Comp Gov argumentative essay is your reasoning. And this, again, ties directly to that ability to explain the how and the why. So you get an additional point on the rubric for linking the evidence to the thesis. Here's where most students struggle. Most students simply just state facts, and the facts may be true, but if they're not linked directly to your argument, then what good are those facts? Case in point, if I were to ask you where's the best pizza to get in New York City, and you just simply said Joe's Pizza in the Lower East Side. Okay, yes, that's an argument, but it's a flimsy one. Joe's Pizza, you need to come up with some reasons to support that. Perhaps it's the crust, perhaps it's the cheese, the toppings, the price, whatever. But you then have to relate how the price and how the toppings, 2 pieces of evidence to support the claim that Joe's Pizza is the best pizza in New York City. The toppings, go into detail. Why are the toppings so good? How does that contribute to Joe's being the best? And then the price. Why is the price a contributing factor? Address the questions how and why each step of the way when presenting your evidence. And my suggestion would be to do that right when you first introduce the evidence. If you're a paragraph counter, someone who looks at how many paragraphs your essay has, your intro is your thesis, there's 1. 2 pieces of evidence, there's 3 paragraphs total. Each piece of evidence and explaining the evidence for the reasoning gives you a nice, neat, compact way to approach the argument essay. So that leaves us with 3 paragraphs, and all told, that leaves us with 4 points. And that leads us to our 5th point and the final 4th quadrant, which is responding to alternate perspectives. Responding to alternate perspectives is the counterpoint. You must address how someone from the opposite side that you are choosing would attack this question. You must present the counterpoint. So you need to state what someone opposed to your position might say, and you have to refute, or you even have the ability to rebut, and in some cases you can even admit that their position might be stronger than yours. Not sure why you would do that, but maybe you focus on rebutting and refuting their counterpoint. This should be the conclusion of your essay. You need to be able to tell the reader what someone else might say and why what they might say is not as strong as your argument. Let's go back to Joe's Pizza. Someone who wants to argue against Joe's Pizza might say that the pizza shop itself is too small, that creates a situation where you can't enjoy the meal because it's too crowded. Okay, fine. There's a point of counter. But you then have to explain and refute or rebut that point to come up with an argument that you're there for the pizza, you're not there for the ambiance, that the taste, the quality, the price, etc. outweighs the fact that there might be a very limited amount of space. I'm spitballing here, but you need to make a counterpoint and then go in and refute or rebut that counterpoint with evidence. Let's look at an actual example of an FRQ, and I think this will help us in terms of looking at how to structure our argument to a sample. And so as the essay comes up here, this was an essay on a previous AP Comparative Government essay, in which the question is for you to look at multinational states, and that word is in there. So let's sort of break down first what a multinational state is all about. A multinational state, two examples of that would be Nigeria and the UK. Nigeria and the UK are good examples of multinational states because you've got a variety of people who are living in that country that are not of the same ethnic nationality, hence the term multi-state. And so in looking at this question, that's the first thing you have to make sure you do. You have to know what the vocabulary and the evergreen terms are. And so the question here is develop an argument on whether democratic governments are effective at securing stability in multinational states. Okay, so again, you do not need context. You don't need to go into big background about multinational states. It might not hurt to define it, but the key to start your essay is to come up with an argument. You have to first create your argument based on that question. Now, on the question itself, you'll see that it says use one or more of the following concepts in your response: civil liberties, government legitimacy, sovereignty. So you have to use at least one of those in your evidence. They're basically giving you the evidence in this prompt. And if they're giving you the evidence in the prompt, then use it. You don't have to, but my goodness, it's right there. So take it. But remember, for the evidence, you then have to go and explain how that evidence or why that evidence relates back to your argument. So you must take a clear stance on whether or not democratic governments are effective. And again, you can't simply restate the prompt. You can't simply say, yes, they're effective. Well, no, tell me why, tell me how. Get in the habit of making sure that you don't restate the prompt. And then, again, you have to come up with the rebuttal. So you have to take what the opposite position might say on the question and then rebut it by stating, again, your position and why your position outweighs or outflanks, whatever verb you want to use there. And that's how we're going to approach the argumentative essays. We will not be doing this essay in class. It's just to show you the structure. You'll be looking at a fresh one on Thursday or Friday, whether you're in G or in E block. But regardless, if you're watching this outside of Bullis, then be prepared to make sure you know the rubric. And if you know the rubric, you can figure out the approach to the essay. I hope that this tutorial on how to approach the argumentative essay for AP Comparative Government is helping you all. Good luck with your studies. We're less than 2 months now away from May 3rd when the exam goes off. As always, I end my videos reminding everybody that the past shapes the future. Take care, AP Comp Gov, and have a great afternoon.